I wasn't trying to catch her. I wasn't angry, paranoid, or looking for proof of anything. If anything, I was the annoying boyfriend who believed trust was supposed to be easy. We'd been together almost 2 years, lived together for the last 6 months, and had settled into that routine where you stop trying to impress each other and start planning grocery lists like it's a shared hobby. That night felt normal, almost boring. We'd ordered takeout, watched a show we were half paying attention to, and she went to shower while I cleaned up the living room. Her phone was on the couch. It buzzed once, then again, 2 quick vibrations like someone was impatient. I glanced without thinking because it was right there, screen lighting up in the dim room. A notification banner slid across the top. "Don't mess this up. He can't find out." My brain didn't process it at first. It was like reading a sentence in a language you know, but your mind refuses to accept what it says. I stared at the screen, waiting for the rest of the context to appear, like maybe the next message would make it harmless. It didn't. Another buzz. "You promised you'd keep it quiet." I stood there with a plate in my hand, frozen. My first instinct wasn't, "she's cheating." It was worse than that. Because cheating at least has a shape. You can picture it. You can understand it. This felt like everyone else was in on something, and I was the only one not invited. I told myself to put the phone down, to walk away. Privacy matters. Trust matters. But then I remembered something. She had given me her passcode months ago, casually, like it meant nothing. "In case of emergencies," she'd said. I'd never used it. My hands felt disconnected from me as I picked up the phone. I unlocked it, and immediately felt sick because the chat was pinned at the top. Not a random coworker, not her mom, not a group chat. It was a name I knew. Maya, her best friend. I scrolled up a little, just enough to understand what kind of conversation this was. It wasn't flirty, it wasn't romantic, it wasn't even emotional, it was strategic. Maya, "Is he home?" My girlfriend. "Yeah, showering after dinner, why?" Maya, "Because you need to remember what we said, no slipping." My girlfriend. "I know." Maya, "He'll leave if he finds out." My girlfriend. "Please stop saying it like that." Maya, "I'm not saying it. I'm reminding you. You're the one who started this." My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it over the shower. What started what? I scrolled more. Maya, "Did you tell him the truth yet?" My girlfriend. "No." Maya, "So you're still lying?" My girlfriend. "I'm not lying, I'm just not telling him everything." Maya, "That's lying." My girlfriend. "It's complicated." Maya, "It's not complicated. It's selfish." My girlfriend. "You don't understand." Maya, "I understand. You're trying to build a future on a secret." I felt like I was going to throw up, because suddenly, things I'd ignored started rearranging themselves into something uglier. Little moments, tiny oddities, like the way she got weird whenever I mentioned meeting more of her extended family, or how she'd get tense if I asked about her past relationships, or how her friends sometimes looked at me like they were measuring how much I knew. There was this one time at a party when someone joked, "He's a good guy, don't ruin it." Everyone laughed too quickly. I'd brushed it off. Now it made my skin crawl. I kept scrolling, faster now, like ripping off a bandage even though it hurt. Maya, "You told me you'd tell him after your anniversary." My girlfriend. "I couldn't." Maya, "Then after the trip." My girlfriend. "It didn't feel like the right time." Maya, "It's never going to feel like the right time." My girlfriend. "I love him." Maya, "Then stop treating him like an idiot." My girlfriend. "If he finds out, he'll hate me." Maya, "If he finds out from someone else, he'll hate you more." My girlfriend. "No one else knows." Maya, "Your sister knows, your mom knows, I know. That's already too many." My girlfriend. "My sister wouldn't say anything." Maya, "People slip, accidents happen, and then what?" My hands started shaking. Her sister knew. Her mom knew. So this wasn't a petty secret. This was a family-level secret, and I was the only one not allowed to know. I heard the shower turn off. Panic snapped through me like electricity. I locked the phone and put it exactly where it was, like positioning it could erase what I'd read. I sat on the couch and tried to breathe normally, but my throat felt tight, like I was swallowing glass. She walked out a minute later, hair wrapped in a towel, humming like nothing in the world was wrong. She looked at me, smiled, and leaned down to kiss my forehead. "You okay?" she asked. "You look tense." The craziest part is that I smiled back. "Yeah," I said, "just tired." She sat beside me and started talking about something meaningless. Work drama, a coworker, a new coffee place she wanted to try. Her voice sounded normal, warm, familiar, but everything felt different, like I was watching her through a pane of glass. I waited for her to say it, to confess, to drop the truth casually, anything. She didn't. She just kept talking. I nodded in the right places. I laughed when she laughed. I pretended I was there. But inside, my mind was sprinting. What could it be? Cheating didn't fit the tone. This wasn't guilt and desire. This was fear of discovery, pregnancy, debt, a past marriage, a criminal record, something about her identity, something about us. My brain grabbed at possibilities like a drowning person grabbing at anything floating. I didn't sleep that night. She fell asleep fast, curled against me like always, breathing softly. I stared at the ceiling until morning, replaying the messages in my head. Every time she shifted closer, my stomach twisted. Because how do you hold someone who might be lying to your face every day? The next day, I acted normal. Too normal. I made coffee. I asked about her day. I even kissed her goodbye when she left for work, because part of me was still hoping I'd misunderstood. As soon as she left, I did something I'm not proud of. I checked her phone again. This time I searched her messages for keywords. Tell him. Secret. Truth. My name. Nothing obvious. Either she was careful, or she'd already deleted anything too direct. Then I opened her photos, thinking maybe I'd find something that explained it. Nothing. I opened her email. Nothing. I checked her notes app, and there it was. A single note with no title, dated months ago, updated recently. It wasn't long. Just a few lines. I can't lose him. If he knows, it's over. Wait until things are stable. Wait until he's attached enough to stay. I stared at that last line until my eyes burned. Attached enough to stay. It hit me with a cold, humiliating clarity. Whatever this secret was, she had been delaying it on purpose. Not because it was complicated, but because she was managing me, timing me, building me into a corner where leaving would be harder. I sat there, alone in our apartment, and felt my relationship snap into a different shape. Like the version of us I believed in had never actually existed. When she came home that evening, she was in a good mood. She talked about dinner plans, about a movie we should watch, about maybe visiting her mom next weekend. Her mom. The same mom who knew. I watched her move around the kitchen like it was any other day and realized something worse than fear. I didn't even know who I was angry at yet. Was it her, Maya, her family, myself? At dinner, she reached across the table and squeezed my hand. "You've been quiet lately," she said gently. "Is something wrong?" There was a moment, just a moment, where her eyes flickered, like she was scanning me, checking if I knew, like she'd asked that question not out of concern, but out of caution. I felt my pulse in my throat. I could confront her right then. I could say, "I saw the messages. Tell me what you're hiding." But something stopped me. Not kindness, not hesitation. Strategy. If she was willing to hide something this big, she was willing to lie when cornered. And if I confronted her without knowing the full truth, I'd only get a version she could control. So I tried something else. I said, "Actually, Maya texted me earlier." Her fork paused for a fraction of a second. "Oh?" she said, too casual. "Yeah," I lied. She asked how things were going. It was kind of random. Her smile stiffened. "Maya's like that." I watched her carefully. The way she avoided eye contact. The way she took a sip of water like her mouth went dry. I pushed a little. "She said something weird, though," I continued. "Like she was worried about us. Like she thought something might mess things up." My girlfriend set her fork down. "What exactly did she say?" Her voice was calm, but her jaw tightened slightly, like she was holding something back. I shrugged. "I don't know. Just that relationships can be fragile when there are secrets." Silence. It was the loudest silence I've ever heard. Then she laughed, a quick, fake little laugh. "That's ridiculous. Maya watches too much true crime." I stared at her, waiting for her to stop acting. She didn't. She stood up, started clearing plates, and began talking faster. About dishes, about laundry, about anything. And that confirmed it. There was a secret, a real one, and she was terrified of it. Later that night, she went to bed early. She said she had a headache. She turned away from me in bed, back to my chest, like she wanted comfort without conversation. I lay there staring into the dark, listening to her breathing, feeling my thoughts sharpen into something colder. I decided I needed to know what it was, not eventually, not when she felt ready. Now. So I did the only thing I could think of. I texted Maya. I kept it simple. "Hey, can we talk? Privately." 3 dots appeared instantly, then disappeared, then appeared again. And then she replied, "Did you see it?" My hands went numb. I stared at the screen. My mouth was dry. My heart felt like it was trying to escape my ribs. I typed, "See what?" A long pause. Then her message came through. "Don't do this over text. Call me." I looked over at my girlfriend. She was asleep, or pretending to be. Her back was still turned to me. I held my phone under the blanket, brightness low, like I was committing a crime. I typed again, "Just tell me what it is." Maya responded immediately, "I can't. Not like this." I wrote, "Everyone knows except me, right?" This time she didn't reply for almost a minute. Then, "Yes." My chest tightened so hard it hurt. I wrote, "Is it about me?" She replied, "In a way." I wrote, "Is it about her?" She replied, "Yes." I wrote, "Is it something that happened before we met?" She replied, "Yes and no." My stomach flipped. Then she sent one final message that made my blood run cold. "If you're serious about this, you need to understand something first." I stared at the screen, waiting. Another message came through. "She didn't plan to fall in love with you." I felt like the room tilted. What does that even mean? Did she use me? Was I a rebound, a cover, a replacement? Part of some bigger plan? I didn't sleep again. In the morning, my girlfriend acted normal. Too normal. She kissed me goodbye, asked if I wanted anything from the store later, told me she loved me. I said it back, automatically. As soon as she left, Maya called me. I didn't answer, not yet, because my hands were shaking too badly, and I realized I was standing at the edge of something that was about to rewrite the last 2 years of my life. I stared at the incoming call screen until it stopped ringing. Then a text came through from Maya. "You need to decide what you want before I tell you." And right after that, another message, this time from my girlfriend. "Hey, did you talk to Maya?" I stared at that message for a long time, because now I knew she was aware something was happening. She was already trying to control the narrative. And the worst part is, I don't know what I'm more afraid of, hearing the truth, or realizing that the person I've been sleeping next to might not be who I thought she was at all. Right now, Maya is waiting for my call, and my girlfriend is waiting for my answer. What would you do?